Just because he's saying something and it's shocking and transgressive and stupid on its face doesn't mean it's not something he's going to do. A little boy's idea about what kings get to do, take more territory. Trump is already very happy abusing the pardon power.
Welcome to another eye-opening episode of Freedom and Liberty Watch. Today, we're dissecting Rachel Maddow's latest performance in what I like to call the liberal hysteria theater. Folks, grab your popcorn because what you're about to witness is a masterclass in fear-mongering, projection, and the most severe case of Trump derangement syndrome I've seen since her last show. Oh, patriots, prepare yourselves for this one. Watch how our favorite MSNBC drama queen tries to paint strategic geopolitical thinking as some sort of medieval fantasy. The cognitive dissonance here is simply chef's kiss. Let's watch.
Just because he's saying something and it's shocking and transgressive and stupid on its face doesn't mean it's not something he's going to do.
Yeah.
And in this case, with the Greenland stuff, it's a sustained discussion. And you see, people writing opinion columns at the New York Times about, what's the rationale behind this? I mean, people going along as if this is a good idea or as if this is anything other than a medieval idea of a little boy's idea about what kings get to do, take more territory, make country bigger, is disturbing, right? You would think that we as a country have a more adult idea about what we do with our power and our territorial boundaries. But once Trump has articulated it, everybody fills in the rationale behind him.
Did you catch that nervous laughter? That trademark Maddow smirk? It's fascinating how someone who spent years cheerleading Obama's strategic partnerships, the ones that got us absolutely nowhere, now clutches her pearls at the mere mention of expanding American influence. Here's the kicker, folks. While she's busy mocking territorial expansion like it's some child's board game, China is literally building military bases in the Arctic. But heaven forbid America should think about protecting its interests. You know what's really rich? The same people who celebrated when we handed Afghanistan back to the Taliban on a silver platter now want to lecture us about international strategy. Hey, Rachel, here's a thought. Maybe if you spent less time perfecting that condescending head tilt and more time studying actual geopolitics, you'd understand why Greenland matters strategically. But I guess that wouldn't make for such entertaining television, would it? Now, folks, watch this masterpiece of liberal projection. Remember, this commentary comes from someone who never met a COVID mandate she didn't love. The irony here is thicker than Hunter Biden's laptop files. Let's watch.
So yeah, I mean, every authoritarian leader the world over has always at some point turned expansionist, right? They like wars because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel big. It gets them the kind of adulation and, in some cases, emergency powers that they like. I don't know why we should expect Trump to be different. Him picking a war with a NATO ally is also a great way to instantly dissolve the NATO alliance, which I know is something I think we all think is something that he'd like to do by hook or by crook.
Oh, my goodness. Where do we even begin with this one? The sheer audacity of Rachel Maddow lecturing anyone about authoritarianism is like having Bernie Sanders give financial advice. This is the same person who championed every single government overreach during COVID, who celebrated censorship as protecting democracy, and who's never met a federal mandate she didn't want to marry. And that psychoanalysis about leaders who like wars, really, Rachel? This coming from someone who spent 3 years pushing the Russia collusion fantasy with more plot holes than a Michael Bay movie? The same network that's been cheerleading every international conflict under the Biden administration is now suddenly concerned about warmongering? I guess wars are only bad when the other team might start them, right? Let's be honest here. Maddow's credibility on foreign policy is about as solid as Hunter Biden's business ethics. But hey, at least she's consistent in her inconsistency. All right, patriots, buckle up for the crown jewel of tonight's liberal hysteria showcase. Watch how Maddow performs mental gymnastics that would make an Olympic champion jealous, trying to rationalize Biden's desperate attempt to shield his political allies. This is peak Trump derangement syndrome in action. Watch this.
There's news tonight that President Biden is reportedly considering preemptive pardons of Trump's political enemies, maybe on January 19th or 20th.
I just felt like, oh yeah, definitely you should do that. And I know it's not that simple. And I know that I understand the arguments against it, which is, as Biden himself has articulated, These people have done nothing wrong. Why do they need a pardon? I also understand, like, oh, if you give these pardons, then that will give you less of a moral leg to stand on for criticizing Trump's abuse of the pardon power. Trump is already very happy abusing the pardon power. Trump is not going to act in good faith, that if he's going to put in an attorney general who at the Republican National Convention said, yeah, lock her up, I love that. If he's going to put somebody like Kash QAnon Patel and the head of the FBI who says he's going to abolish the FBI and turn it into a museum of the deep state. I mean, yeah, you're not talking about a good faith cast of characters who's planning on using the criminal justice system in a way that, you know, meets our historical standards for what counts as serious and well-predicated action. And so, yeah, he should protect people who don't deserve to be abused with that system. And Trump has been, and Patel has been open enough about, they've been open enough about who exactly they're planning on going after. They should just take the entire list of 60 people in Patel's book, and on the basis of the fact that they're in Patel's book, give them all pardons. All the people who Trump has threatened on the campaign trail, give them pardons. You're not dealing with somebody who's looking to you to make, you know, fine, morally grained distinctions here about how he's going to use the pardon power based on what you do with it. Just protect people who don't deserve to be destroyed by these people who are promising to do it. Like with the January 6th committee, for example, like I just give them all the same pardon. Give the same pardon to literally everybody who's in Kash Patel's book, to everybody who Trump has singled out on the campaign trail, or that members of his campaign have singled out, members of the transition have singled out. Just do it. And yeah, people grind their teeth about it, but it will also prevent those people from being destroyed by a bad faith incoming administration that's promising to destroy them for political reasons and as an abuse of our criminal justice system. You can protect it with the stroke of a pen. You can protect those people with the stroke of a pen. And I just really think that President Biden should do it, and I hope he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we just witnessed is what happens when Trump derangement syndrome reaches its final form. Maddow's actually advocating for preemptive pardons for people who haven't even been charged with crimes. Let that sink in. It's like getting car insurance after you've crashed the vehicle. Except in this case, the vehicle is our justice system. The mental gymnastics here are truly Olympic-worthy. The same Rachel Maddow who had a meltdown over Trump's pardons now thinks it's perfectly fine for Biden to hand out get-out-of-jail-free cards like they're party favors at a deep state birthday bash. You can't make this stuff up. And notice how she completely glosses over the obvious question. If these people have done nothing wrong, as Biden claims, why do they need pardons in the first place? It's like pleading the fifth while insisting you're innocent. Not exactly a confidence-inspiring move, is it? And there you have it, patriots. Another perfect example of how the mainstream media tries to gaslight hardworking Americans. But here at Freedom and Liberty Watch, we're not buying their propaganda. And neither should you. Looking at what's happening across our great nation, I see millions of Americans who are sick and tired of this liberal circus. You're the real heroes in this fight for truth. While the Rachel Maddows of the world sit in their ivory towers, spewing their elitist propaganda, you're out there in the real America, living with the consequences of their failed policies. If you're as fired up as I am about exposing these liberal narratives, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, smash that subscribe button like it's a deep state conspiracy. We're growing faster than Biden's list of gaffes, and with your help, we can reach even more patriots who need to hear the truth. Second, hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss our upcoming episodes. We've got some explosive content coming up that will make today's analysis look like a warm-up act. And finally, this is crucial, drop your thoughts in the comments below. What other mainstream media meltdowns should we expose next? What liberal narratives are you sick and tired of hearing? Your voice matters in this fight, and this channel is your platform for truth. Remember, patriots? They want us divided, they want us silent, but we're louder and stronger together. Share this video with every American who's tired of being force-fed these liberal fairy tales. This is Freedom and Liberty Watch, where we don't just report the news. We demolish the narrative, we expose the truth, and we fight for the America we know and love. Until next time, keep standing strong, keep thinking freely, and never stop fighting for liberty.